But I think we got to spend some time on the 17-1 Oklahoma City Thunder squad that is doing this without Jalen Williams. I know they're not Lakers, Warriors, Knicks, and they're flying a little under the radar somehow at 17-1. But Dan, I feel like the way they play basketball, the selfless team defense, the Dobermans that we talked about at the beginning of last season are very much there, and even growing it from puppies into full-blown, like, terrifying Dobermans that are just going to viciously attack you defensively and offensively. Dan, what is left to say about this Oklahoma City Thunder team that is still shorthanded and doing this to teams on a routine basis?
I think what's left to say is, let's not overlook the fact that we are watching history in real time, right? Like, they are on a 77 win pace. And that's, I think we can safely say, they're probably going to lose more than 5 games over the course of the season. 77 is an awfully lofty pace. Nobody wins 95% of their games. However, what we see from that, and yeah, throw your caveats out there about their strength of schedule, and they've played a lot of teams that haven't been exactly world-class competition and yada yada yada. They are responding to that by laying the smackdown in like a historically incredible way. Their best guys are all better. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won MVP last season, won Finals MVP last season. He's better this year. Like, his shooting efficiency's up, the assist rate is up, the turnover rate, which is already microscopic, is down while continuing to play excellent defense on ball and in their scheme. He doesn't even have to play in the fourth quarter most of the time. He's nearing that, like the Embiid from a couple seasons ago before he got hurt, where it was like a point a minute. SGA is nearing that kind of category. Their bigs are better. Chet Holmgren, the shooting efficiency's up. Isaiah Hartenstein, I think, is shooting like 70% on 2-pointers. They're both protecting the rim at an elite level, rebounding the ball. They just go into the grab bag and are like, okay, AJ Mitchell. Might call him yet another Jay Williams. Why not? AJ Mitchell, like, you were a second-round pick last year. You barely played for us, and now you are one of the most improved players in the league, like 6-man candidate, in part because you're also like another absolute point of attack dog on defense who can then drive to the basket, get to the rim. Like, the gap, that defense is better. That defense was the best defense, or one of the best defenses we'd ever seen, and the defense is better. It sounds ridiculous, so I'm going to read it out because I want to make sure I'm getting it right. According to Cleaning the Glass, their numbers strip out garbage time data. The Thunder are allowing 103.1 points per 100 possessions outside of garbage time. That is 7.4 points per 100 fewer than number 2, Detroit. So the gap between first and second, 7.4 points per 100, is the same as the gap between number 2, Detroit, and number 20, Milwaukee. They are nearly a league ahead of number 2 in defensive efficiency this season. And it's not just a this season thing. We've talked before about our friend Jared Dubin at his website, Last Night in Basketball. He has a metric that he calls adjusted efficiency. And it's a way to basically see how much better or worse than league average are you in a given season. So like the league average team this season, the Thunder have been 14.4 points per 100 possessions better than an imagined league average team this season. That's not just obviously number 1 in the league this season. That would be the biggest gap, that 14.4 points per 100 better than league average, since the ABA-NBA merger in 1976. Bigger than the 95 Bulls, bigger than the 2000 Lakers, bigger than any elite team that you can think of, including last year's Thunder. And they haven't had Jalen Williams for a possession. So we are watching
all NBA defensive, or all defensive team member Jalen Williams.
Yeah, all defensive team member, all NBA forward. The guy that put up 40 in the finals, like their number 2 ball handler, a guy that's their number 2 scorer. They haven't had the second best player on their team all season, and they are on pace for 77 wins. And yeah, like I said, you can poke holes in the resume of it. Fair enough. And you can say that pace is obviously unsustainable and it will come back to earth totally. Either way, what we are watching has been historic dominance. And I feel like just because it's rarely flashy, we can kind of let it just thrum along in the background. I'm grateful for the fact that every time I turn on that team and tune into one of their games, I'm kind of aware that I'm getting to see something awfully special.
Yep. Well said, Dan. Last week we talked about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being the MVP in my book because of his mind-boggling numbers and his clutch performance, where he was leading the NBA in clutch points despite only playing 6 clutch games and being on the bench for like 15 fourth quarters. Just checking in here, Dan, still leading the NBA in clutch points, and he hasn't had a clutch game since last week. So he is that far ahead of everybody else that he's just like chilling in fourth quarters and still leading the league in a category that everyone else is like gasping for air trying to catch up to Shai. And he's still leading the league. 56 points. Tyrese Maxey, in over twice as many clutch games, is still trailing him with 51 points. So, Dan, it's just remarkable what they're doing. I think they beat the Golden State record. I think they do it because the team, they're not reliant on one guy to do everything. This is a team culture, team-wide playing style. And as good as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is offensively, defensively, I think the old adage is that defense always travels. It always travels. And you don't have to worry about make or miss league when it comes to your defense, because they are just that ferocious, and they're going to turn you over so much. It doesn't matter who is out there offensively, especially when you got AJ Mitchell and Isaiah Joe and Chet Holmgren. And it just feels like they're going to be able to score 25 a night because so much of their offense is in transition off of getting interceptions and stealing the ball and going the other way. When you have a defense that good at turning you over and smothering you and going the other way, I mean, instead of 30-point blowouts, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, knock on wood, had to miss some time, I still think that they would be beating the doors off of people. So, granted, it's early, 17-1, and the Blazers can you can thank the Blazers for giving them their only loss, because otherwise it'd be 18-0 and be wall-to-wall coverage about how far they can take this. But yeah, I think they do it, Dan. I think they do win over 72 games this year because their culture, their team development, all of this, it just seems so plug and play that whoever's out there, that defense is going to travel. And I just feel like that is the reason why they're as good as they are, is like you said, so much better than everybody else. They're playing a different game. It always feels like they got 6 players on the floor at all times. And yeah, wait till Jalen Williams comes back, everybody. Wait, just wait.